Jay-Z and Puffy wanted Biggie killed. Bottom line, you don't have to believe me, believe the facts. Here's a man that wanted to leave Bad Boy. He wanted to do his own thing. He mentioned several times how he was tired of being used and abused, that he was bigger than Bad Boy itself.
Garcia said Combs himself handed him $100,000 in cash, and that later he also noticed that there was no video file or incident report in the hotel record.
Diddy's name has been quietly linked to Biggie's tragic death for years. But now it looks like the truth is finally coming out.
People talk in prison, people talk on the streets, people run their mouth. And if it's true, I can't say if it was too soon for him to come to LA or they came to LA because they wanted to. I was told that he wasn't ready to come to LA. I was told that Puffy pretty much made him come to LA.
Killing of Christopher Wallace, famously known as the Notorious B.I.G. or Biggie Smalls, still has no clear answers, even after all these years. On March 9, 1997, Biggie was shot and killed in a brutal drive-by shooting in Los Angeles.
The world is numb today, stunned by the violent death of gangster rapper Notorious B.I.G. The tragedy happened here outside of the Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles, where the rapper, also known as Biggie Smalls, was attending a Vibe magazine party for the Soul Train Awards. Now, shortly after midnight Saturday, Notorious B.I.G. left the party and got into his car when another car rolled by and shots rang out. At least 5 bullets ripped through the door, killing B.I.G.
Ever since Biggie's murder, people have been asking the same big question. What really happened that night? Some believe his own mentor, Sean Diddy Combs, may have had something to do with it. The streets have been filled with wild theories, pointing fingers at rap beefs, corrupt police, and shady behind-the-scenes moves in the music industry. But despite all the talk, no one has ever given a straight answer. Back in the 90s, the rap world was deeply divided, East Coast versus West Coast. Diddy was running Bad Boy Records in New York with Biggie as his top artist. On the West Coast, Suge Knight led Death Row Records and represented Tupac Shakur. These two camps had serious problems with each other.
They've got a number of individuals that they're speaking to right now, and we're hopeful that we can resolve this matter relatively soon.
These are pictures of the 24-year-old Biggie at the Vibe party just hours before he was killed. Eerie images of a man who had no idea of the violent fate.
Tension exploded in 1994 when Tupac got shot in New York. He directly blamed Diddy and Biggie, even though both of them denied being involved. Things got worse in 1996 when Tupac released Hit 'Em Up, a brutal diss track targeting Biggie. In that song, he even claimed he slept with Biggie's wife, singer Faith Evans. That line crossed the line. It wasn't just music anymore, it was personal. Later that year, Tupac was shot and killed in Las Vegas. Just 6 months after that, Biggie was murdered too. Many people believe these two killings are connected and not just a coincidence.
When somebody's shooting at you, your first reaction is not to get a description of them, but to take cover, duck.
Biggie was killed 6 months after Tupac Shakur died in a hail of bullets in Las Vegas. Two larger-than-life hip-hop artists, Biggie from the East Coast with Bad Boy Records led by Sean Combs, and Tupac from the West Coast with Death Row Records founded by Marion Suge Knight.
The time that Biggie Smalls was killed, Suge Knight was in the county jail. So in order for him to communicate with somebody on the street, he had to go through an intermediary, which was this female who was visiting him in jail.
On May 28, 2009, the LAPD and the FBI documented that woman's statement. Her identity is being protected. Kading says the woman worked out an agreement that nothing would be used against her.
Around that same time, attention started turning to Diddy, and not in a good way. Rumors spread that Biggie was planning to leave Bad Boy Records and start his own label. That got fans wondering, did Diddy have a reason to stop him?
This LAPD statement says, quote, during more than one of these visits, Knight instructed Blank to help him coordinate the murder of Christopher Wallace.
She said that Suge told her, I want you to get a hold of Poochie and tell him that this is what I want done. So there's a series of meetings. She goes and meets with Poochie. They agree on an amount. Suge makes the arrangement for that money to get transferred. She pays Poochie, and he goes and sets himself up at the Peterson Auto Museum and shoots and kills Biggie.
Probably nervous, but at the same time, unless he was totally against Biggie, I feel his pain. And I'm not saying he against Biggie, but I think that according to the conversations and what people say, what people tell me, I was not there, couldn't see what happened, but the fact that I feel bad for Puffy because this your man right there.
In 2024, things got even crazier when Diddy's former bodyguard, Uncle Ron Smith, made a shocking claim on TikTok. He said that Diddy and Jay-Z were involved in Biggie's death. According to him, Biggie was becoming too powerful and planned to leave Bad Boy, which made Diddy feel threatened.
Jay-Z wanted him out of the industry, period, so he could take over and be the biggest hip-hop artist around. And I wonder who's the biggest hip-hop artist today. It's all business, folks. And unfortunately, you as a fan, most of you won't understand, but it was all about the business. And the $2 billionaire of 1997, I was approached by Diddy to perform a hit on one of his artists. Finding out that he wanted all the rights to all his catalogs. I turned him down.
Uncle Ron also said that Jay-Z wanted Biggie gone too.
On the night Biggie was taken out. And I'm so glad to this day that I refused to do that. So under investigations and working and cooperating with FBI, my story is being told. There's so much more that we're going to talk about with Diddy.
The video shocked everyone. Then, just one day later, Ron Smith was found dead. That twist set off a storm of rumors and turned whispers into full-blown suspicions. As some say, you got to look at what people do, man.
You got to look at what people do, man. You know Pac just got killed. It ain't no kind of business Big was doing. Big couldn't even walk. He couldn't run. They was pushing him around in a wheelchair, brother. Why the hell would you rent studio time at LA for him to finish your album when in fact you got your own studio Daddy's house? Let's keep it a buck. Let's stop this bullshit, man.
So far, no one has found hard proof that connects Diddy to Biggie's murder. Even back in 2007, the LAPD did a full review and found no evidence tying any police officers to the killing either. Sure, Ron Smith's TikTok went viral, but legal experts say it wouldn't hold up in court. It was just his word without any real evidence. Still, Biggie's murder remains unsolved. Case is full of mystery, wild theories, and missing pieces. The shooter was never caught, and no one has been officially charged. But that could change soon, with Diddy's current legal troubles making headlines and more former employees stepping up to expose him. Things could shift quickly.
That he first molested her and tried to forcibly kiss her at his 40th birthday party shortly after she got hired, and then months later her in a guest room at his home in Los Angeles. And she's been under cross-examination now for 2 days. And while a lot of the lawyers for Sean Combs have been very friendly with some of the witnesses who reluctantly testified for the government.
And if that wasn't enough, brand new testimonies are coming out that could be the final blow for Diddy. On March 5, 2016, a security guard named Eddie Garcia witnessed something that's now being used against Diddy in court. He was on duty at a hotel in LA when surveillance cameras caught Diddy physically attacking his longtime girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura, also known as Cassie.
Jurors got a chance to hear from the hotel's former security supervisor earlier on today, and he testified about the $100,000 payoff that Combs made to purchase that incriminating video. Now, Combs does not deny that a transaction happened, but his attorneys say that he made the payment to avoid any negative press.
Now Garcia is testifying in court under an immunity deal, which means he won't be charged as long as he tells the full truth. What he's saying is shocking. He claims that Diddy did everything he could to cover up what happened with Cassie, to make it disappear like it never happened.
Quorum, who was the chief of staff for Sean Combs, was involved in trying to arrange this deal and contacting security to try to get this footage, and that all three of them were present when this negotiation took place of the turning over of the $100,000 to this security guard. So this is detrimental to the defense. The prosecution is going again with the criminal enterprise, but also dealing with obstruction of justice, which is one of the key elements, also one of the predicate acts under the racketeering conspiracy.
At a secret meeting, Garcia was handed a stack of documents to sign. One of them said he was turning over the only copy of the footage. Another was a non-disclosure agreement. Garcia admitted in court that he didn't even read all of them properly. After he signed the papers, Diddy left the room and came back with a brown paper bag and a money counter. He started feeding thick stacks of $10,000 bills into the machine like it was nothing. The final amount? A shocking $100,000, double what Garcia's supervisor had asked for. Garcia says he quickly realized the extra money was meant for him and another colleague to stay quiet. But Diddy gave him a warning: don't make any flashy purchases. Garcia told the court, I understood it as it would draw attention, and in the end, Garcia gave $50,000 to his supervisor, gave $20,000 to another staff member, and kept $30,000 for himself, which he used to buy a used car. Even after all that hush money, the video still leaked. A year ago, CNN aired clips of the footage, and no one knows exactly how it got out.
Christina Quorum was the chief of staff for Sean Combs, and we've heard her name come up multiple times throughout this trial as being the go-to person for Sean Combs, the personal handler for Sean Combs, and now from today doing the dirty work of also Sean Combs. So in terms of whether she's going to testify, that's the million-dollar question, because if she were to testify, she knows all the dirt having to deal with Sean Combs, and that would technically seal his...
Now Diddy's in serious trouble. He's facing major federal charges, including trafficking and racketeering conspiracy. Prosecutors are saying he built a close inner circle of bodyguards and high-level staff who helped him carry out a series of crimes over 20 years. Charges include bribery and obstruction of justice. Many of them connect back to that intense 2016 incident at the Intercontinental Hotel. Diddy claims he's innocent. He's pleaded not guilty and says everything was just business. His legal team insists that nothing illegal happened and that all sexual activity was totally consensual.
From Brianna Bongalong. She was an upcoming designer who was in the inner circle of Combs and Ventura, and she was also a friend of Cassie Ventura's, who has accused Combs of dangling her off the balcony of Cassie Ventura's apartment from the 17th floor in Los Angeles. Now, she filed a civil lawsuit against Combs, and she alleges that Combs was yelling, "Do you know what you did?" And she said that no, she didn't know what she did. She didn't really know why Combs was so upset with her.
But on Tuesday, jurors watched the original footage again, and what they saw was disturbing. Diddy, wearing only a towel, was seen on camera kicking Cassie Ventura near the hotel elevator. Cassie had already testified, saying she was trying to escape after Diddy punched her in the face. When CNN first aired the shocking video, Diddy posted a public apology online admitting, "My behavior on that video is inexcusable." That clip might turn out to be the most damaging evidence against him.
That's right, Susan. So this hotel has since been closed, but it has certainly become a big part of the conversation since that violent video was released on Friday. And as you mentioned, now we are hearing from Sean Diddy Combs himself in a selfie-style apology.
I was I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
Diddy's lawyers admit he's got a history of shady behavior, but they argue that doesn't mean he's a criminal mastermind pulling strings behind the scenes. Trial also revealed new information about Christina Cora. She wasn't just any assistant. She used to be Diddy's chief of staff and, in his own words, his right hand. That job may have involved more than people realize. Still, one big mystery remains. How did CNN get that footage after all the effort to keep it hidden? What's clear from Eddie Garcia's explosive testimony is this: Diddy did everything he could to bury that video. He paid a lot of money to make it disappear. But now, that very attempt to cover it up could be what finally takes him down. Do you think Diddy is walking free after this, or is this the end of the empire? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next one. See you soon.
What's up, Shiny Suit Man? How you doing, man? Good to see you, Diddy. Shiny Suit Man.